So once the soul is liberated, then once the soul attains bhava, liberation is there, vimuktan. Then the next point in our DasaMula is achintya bheda abheda tattva. So the next point is bheda bheda. Now, that starts in the 18th chapter of DasaMula or Jaiva Dharma. Now, as you know, our Vrajanath is now in total ecstasy. He went to home. Then his cousin or his uncle, he was thinking, now he is totally going out of my hands. I have to do something harm to both of them. So he employed some gundas to kill both of them. So then this Vrajanath took help of one of his other cousins. He went and told the entire story. And he told, don't worry, we are together. Somehow, instead of going to meet Babaji in the night time, he was doing in daytime and all these things. But ultimately what happened, the news came that because of the snake bite, his uncle died. He was doing so much of offenses. Then became very free and he could meet Babaji quite frequently. So Ajnath, he came to Babaji and then he asked this question. So this starts with a nice question. Vrajanath, what is the name of the pure philosophy of Sri Gaur Kishora taught to this world? Is it Advaitavada, Shuddhadvaitavada, is it Vishishtadvaitavada, Dvaitavada? Are the names of philosophies taught by the previous acharyas? Did Sri Gauranga Deva accept one of these philosophies? Or did he teach a different philosophy? In describing the Sampradaya, you said that Sri Gauranga is in the Brahma Sampradaya. Did he teach the Dvaitavada of Madhvacharya or did he teach something else? That is the question. Then immediately Babaji says, please listen to the 8th verse of DasaMula, or in one sense about Achintya bheda abheda tattva. Hare shakte sarvam chidajidakal akilam syat parinati vivartam no satyam shrutimiti viruddham kalimalam Hare bheda bhedo shruti vihita tattvam suimalam tata premnaha siddhir bhavati nitaram nitya vishaye. So, Hare Shakte Sarvam Chidakilam Syat Pariniti. So, when he's talking about Shakti, he spoke about Shakti Parinama Vad. The entire spiritual material creation is manifested with the potency of Lord Hari. The impersonalist idea is an impurity of Kali Yuga and is refuted in the Vedas. Vivartam now Satyam, the Vivartavada established by the impersonalist. Na Satyam, Shrutimiti Viruddham, it is against the Vedas. And Kalimalam, it is the contamination of the age of Kali. Harer Bheda Bhedo Shruti Vihita Tattvam Suvimalam. So that Bheda Bheda, Harer Bheda Bheda. Everything what you see, the living entities, as well as this material world, they are nothing but Bheda Bheda. They have this connection with Krishna in the sense of oneness and difference. The Shruti Vihita, this is what Shrutis are telling. Tattvam, Shruti Vihita Tattvam. The Shruti is the truth told by the Shrutis. Suvimalam. It is Vimalam, it is pure, and Suvimalam, most pure. Tata Premnaha. If you understand this, you'll get Prema. Siddhir Bhavati. It will definitely get it. Siddhir Bhavati. Tiratam Nitya Vishaye. This is the eternal truth. Understanding this truth, one eventually attains perfection of love for Supreme Eternal. So now, I've cut a lot of things which Bhaktivinoda Thakur has told and just gave you the small few essence in the end. Because I thought, let me just give a brief of what he has told. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, when he asks this question, he went on describing about the 4 different philosophies of 4 Vaishnavacharyas. He names the 4 Vaishnavacharyas and gives the 4 different philosophies. And he names the 4 sampradayas too. We all know these 4 sampradayas and 4 acharyas. These 4 sampradayas and 4 acharyas, they have written a commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also gives what is Vedanta Sutra. So Vedanta Sutra is nothing but the sutra format of all the Upanishads. When Vyasa wrote all the Upanishads, he took all the Upanishads. At the end, what he did, he condensed all the Upanishads and presented in a sutra format. So Vedanta Sutras are nothing but Upanishads. Upanishads are called Vedanta. And the book Vedanta Sutra is nothing but Upanishads in sutra format. That is why it is called Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta means the end of the Vedas, the last part of the Vedas, which are the most important part of the Vedas. Now these Vedanta Sutras cannot be understood by any ordinary person. It requires a commentary for it. So when they wrote a commentary for each acharya, they have presented a particular kind of philosophy. Now apart from these 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, first commentary which was presented by our Vedanta Sutra is by Sripad Shankaracharya. It is known as Sharirika Bhashya. So this Sharirika Bhashya, it explains the Vedanta Sutra, misinterpreting the entire Vedanta to establish Mayavad. Now, so there are so many concepts of Mayavad, but we will not get into that. After that, 4 Vaishnavacharyas, they wrote commentaries on these Vedanta Sutras. Sri Sampradaya Acharya, represented by Sripad Ramanujacharya, he wrote Sri Bhashya. It took a long time, 20-25 years to write this Bhashya. Based on the Bodhayana Vritti he got from Kashmir. His disciple Quresh, he memorized that thing. Because in Kashmir the Pandits did not want to give Bodhayana Vritti to I'll just so Bodhayana Vritti to Ramanuja. Then Quresh, he somehow goddess of Saraswati, Sharada Devi, she personally told, take it from here. And somehow they caught it, and Quresh could memorize everything. The Pandits came and snatched the copy and went away. Then Ramanuja felt very bad. How can I write a commentary without Bodhayana Vritti? Then Quresh told, I put it into memory. So in this way Ramanuja wrote the entire commentary. This Bodhayana Vritti is a Vritti. Vritti and commentary both are different. Vritti gives the format of presenting the commentary. Vritti gives a format of presenting the commentary. So until unless you have a format, you cannot write anything, isn't it? Any book, anything should have a format. Even to have a format of it, it is very difficult. So Sripad Shankaracharya, because of his excellent intelligence, he had presented the Vedanta Sutra in such a way that nobody could defeat it. Now Ramanuja felt the need, until unless I have the Bodhayana Vritti, I cannot get the formula by which this Mayavad can be defeated. So that became the basis of all the Vaishnavacharyas to defeat Mayavad philosophy. Now these 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, Krishna, we know that he came as Sri Chaitanya. He met all the 4 acharyas in his Aprakat Leela. When all the acharyas, they went on parikrama, all throughout India, they went to different places. They all visited Navadvip. When they visited Navadvip, all of them met during their time, they met Sri Chaitanya. They met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eternally staying in Navadvip Dham. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed them to write bhashyas. When he instructed them, he gave 2 points to each of the 4 acharyas, and then told them to write a commentary based on these 2 points. And the purpose of Chaitanya telling this is, he told these 4 acharyas to write a commentary, Vaishnava commentary based on this, and specifically to destroy one aspect of Mayavad. Each one had to defeat one aspect of Mayavad. So basically, the strongest or the most difficult aspect of Mayavad, that is Jiveshwaravad, was defeated by Madhvacharya. The Nirvisheshvad was defeated by Sripad Ramanujacharya. And Vivartavad was defeated by Nimbarakacharya. And the whole concept of jnana, and by knowledge one gets liberation. That is, one becomes Brahman by attaining knowledge. So this aspect was defeated by our Vishnu Swami. So we find these four acharyas, their purpose was to defeat one aspect of Mayavad. And not only that, to describe Krishna. Krishna is described in the Vedas, and Vedas, the most important part of the Vedas, Upanishads. So Krishna is described in the Upanishads. And the subject matter of the Vedanta Sutra is Krishna. So Krishna has a multi-faced personality. So Krishna's multi-faced personality are described by these four acharyas in different rasas. Like Balam Neelamanim. Krishna is Neelamani. It's like a blue jewel. If you keep the Krishna in the center as a blue jewel, you describe in a different way. You look, you describe in a different way. You look, somebody looks, describe in a different way. That is why the Vedanta Sutra says, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. But of course this is misinterpreted many times. Ekam Sat means the absolute truth is one, but Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. Vipra means great learned people, they describe him in different ways. But different ways doesn't mean any way. Like people say, oh, God has many names. But that doesn't mean any name, isn't it? So there's a lot of difference in saying that God has many names and God has any name. So God has many names, that is true, but He has specific names too. So it is not that God can be described in many ways. That doesn't mean any way. Many and any has got a lot of difference. So in this way, these four Vaishnava acharyas are actually describing Krishna, establishing devotional service. But to establish that kind of rasa in which they are describing Krishna, they came up with different philosophies. So Sri Sampradaya Ramanujacharya came up with Vishishtadvaita philosophy. So in Vishishtadvaita philosophy, he described Krishna in a particular way. And now Vishnu Swami, who is actually belonging to Rudra Sampradaya, he established the philosophy of Shuddhadvaita. And Nimbarakacharya, who comes in the Kumar Sampradaya, he established Dvaita Advaita. And Madhvacharya, coming in the Brahma Sampradaya, he established Dvaita Siddhanta. Now, these four philosophies are like four pillars of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. Once one devotee went and asked Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, what is our connection with Ramanujacharya, Sripad Ramanujacharya? Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur told that Sri Chaitanya, Ramanuja Sampradaya, Sri Chaitanya Premar Mandir Bhitti Swarup. He told that our Ramanuja Sampradaya is the foundation on which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu built the temple of love of God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu built the temple of love of God on the foundation, Bhitti Swarup, and the foundation of Ramanuja Sampradaya. So it is very interesting. If you really want to know, not only just know, to relish more or Chaitanya's philosophy, it is very interesting to know these four philosophies, four acharyas, their lives and their sampradayas. Of course, that seminar is coming up. I always talk for the past 2 years about this seminar, but I don't know when it's going to come up in reality. So still the preparation is going on. It's not very easy to take that seminar because not only just you have to know what they are saying, you have to accept their mood also. For that you need to go there, sit with those devotees and talk to them, sit with them, and then only you get the mood. Then only you will be able to present the philosophy. Otherwise, if you don't understand the mood, it's very difficult to present the philosophy. Really, you need to create that atmosphere. Suppose, for example, you are speaking about Madhva, then really has to engross yourself that you are a Madhva and you are speaking. You cannot just be officially speaking what Madhva spoke. So you have to engross yourself in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya and then think about Sri Rangam, Tirupati and their chantings and all, and then you speak about it, then it will be nice. So it's coming up. I told Parshanda Mataji that keep this seminar. Maybe in 2-3 years it will be ready. We'll take it about it. 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya. Of course, it cannot be in 4 days. It takes a longer time. Actually, the best is to go to their places and discuss about these Sampradayas. Like if you want to discuss about Chaitanya, like just go and sit in Tirupati and discuss about him, isn't it? When the Sri Vaishnavas are going with their Divya Prabandhams and then you are doing Hare Krishna and talking about Chaitanya. Okay, nice, but the point is that like go to Srirangam and discuss Ramanuja, go to Udupi and discuss on Madhva. Of course, Nimbara you can discuss in Govardhan because Nimbadit Kiram. Nimbarakacharya's original deities, which Radharani gave himself, personally gave to the 4 Kumaras. The 4 Kumaras personally worshipped the Shaligram Shila, Radha Krishna Shila. It's known as Sarveshwar Mandir. It is so surprising. I thought it must be somewhere in Govardhan. I was trying to inquire with many devotees, many Sri Sampradaya, Sriji people. But really they could not say anything. But for temple construction work, it happened that I had to go to Jaipur, I had to go to Makrana. If you get down at Krishnanagar, and from there you have to go to Makrana. All marble comes from there. So on the way, I saw a big board like this. Jagat Guru Nimbaraka Acharya Pratishthan. 3-4 times I went. Every time the person was telling, no time, we'll go next time. Once I insisted, we'll go there. I went there, their main deity is there, main Shaligram Shila is there, Sarveshwar Shaligram Shila is there. I could get some books, most of them are Hindi and Sanskrit. So it is very, very interesting. Nimbaraka Sampradaya, their whole, their sannyasi, not the present ones, the previous sannyasis and all, very powerful. They are like Param Vairagis. They just stay in one corner and cross themselves in Radha Krishna Bhajan. So like that, we have these 4 Sampradayas. That is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he mentions those names and then says Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya or his philosophy is it is Achintya Bheda Veda. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes further. We'll just read from there. Each, with his own philosophy, the 4 Vaishnavacharyas taught the devotional service the highest conclusion. Sriman Mahaprabhu based his philosophy on all the statements of the Vedas. His philosophy is called Achintya Bheda Veda, simultaneous oneness and difference. This philosophy accepts the basic framework of Madhvacharya's teachings. Now here, something has to be put, some attention has to be put. He did not say, we accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Madhvacharya's teachings. What did he say? The basic framework. The basic framework of Madhvacharya's teachings. What is that? The living entity is distinct from the Supreme Lord. That. And what is that small masala added that we have been discussing? That is rasa. So, it is the rasa of rasabdhim. For that rasabdhim to be accommodated, Achintya Bheda Veda has to be incorporated. So without Achintya Bheda Veda, that rasabdhim cannot be really understood. So when we go and study Madhva's Bhashya, there you will come to know that this rasabdhim is not completely coming out. All the aspects of Krishna are very nicely described. But to relish this aspect of rasabdhim, Dvaita is incompetent. That is why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought what? Achintya Bheda Bheda. If you see the Mool Shloka of this 8th verse, Tata Premnaha Siddhir Bhavati. Last line says, Tata Premnaha Siddhir Bhavati. The perfection of prema can only be attained when Harer Bheda Bhedo Stuti Vihita Tattvam Suvimalam. When you accept this Harer Bheda Bhedo, when you accept this Bheda Bheda philosophy. Okay. Now comes to again Mayavad. How Mayavad is described this world and all. Then Rajanath, he asks a question. What is Parinamvad? Then there are 2 kinds of Parinamvad. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there are 2 kinds of Parinamvad. What is it? Brahma Parinamvad and other is Shakti Parinamvad. Parinama means transformation. So these Mayavadis, they accept Brahma Parinamavad. Brahman himself has transformed. So the Brahma Parinamavad teaches Brahman becomes transformed in individual souls in the material world. Thus, they say that only Brahman exists. And to support this idea, they quote the Chandogya Upanishad. Ekameva Dhyitiyam Brahma. Brahman is one without a second. This theory may be called Advaitavad. Look, in this context, Vivarta and Parinam are synonymous. So there, you see, Vivarta. Let us define these terms first. Parinam means transformation. And Vivarta means unreal transformation. The word Vivarta means to accept something which is not there to be there. That is the meaning of Vivarta. So, according to Mayavadis, they don't see that there is a difference between Vivarta and Parinama. They say all Parinamas are Vivarta. Means all transformations are unreal. Even though they say Brahman transforms, according to them, this transformation is unreal. Even though they say it is real, their understanding of real is different from our understanding of real. So now here, when Madhvacharya says Maya, his definition of Maya is different from Sripad Shankaracharya's definition of Maya. That is why many of the Western philosophers, when they talk about, when they try to understand these scriptures directly, a lot of misinterpretation is there. That is why many pseudo philosophers, Western philosophers, even the Indian philosophers who influenced by the Western mind, when you read their understanding of Madhvacharya or Shankaracharya, it is totally wrong. So if you really want to understand who they are, who is Madhva, who is Shankara, you have to approach a person who has lived in that sampradaya. It is not that you just read some book written by some scholar and then just understand it. No, it is not possible. Like the biggest problem these days is many people, they don't even know what Mayavad is, because they read books written by somebody and he understands Mayavad in a different way and he presents in a different way and they are totally lost. So if you want to know what Mayavad is, you should go to a Shankara, real Shankara, and understand. You cannot go to R.K. Mutt and understand it. You know what is R.K. Mutt? Ramakrishna Mutt. We say it's R.K. Mutt, it's Ramakrishna Mutt. You just cannot go to Ramakrishna Mutt and understand Mayavad. We all the way, they are Mayavadis, you say, but they are not even Mayavadis. It is like, I gave the example, if you go and ask, if you want to know what is ISKCON, you go and sit in an high membership office, and that is understanding of ISKCON. It is very dangerous, isn't it? It's very difficult. So that is why better if you don't have access to the Mayavadis, if you want to know Mayavad, just read Prabhupada books. You will know more Mayavad than the Mayavadis. Rather, you'll be able to take a class on Mayavad to them. Your Shankara told this. Acha, is it so? That is what they would say. Is it so? Actually, I was always contemplating who are these Mayavadis, especially in the West when Prabhupada used to say Mayavadis. I heard when they came to India, they thought these Mayavadis must be like demons, some tooth coming out like this, some hair like this. They were not thinking they were very nice sadhus. They did not have this idea that they were nice sadhus. Anyhow, the best place, if at all you want to understand in short what is Mayavad, you just have to read Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation with Prakashananda Saraswati, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation with Saramutachari. Just memorize it. Just memorize it. Step by step. Oh, everything is there in that condensed. So, this is what it is. Okay. Vivarta means, it will come in the definition. You will have it, in the notes you have it. I'll just come to the point. So the theory may be called Advaitavad. In the context, Vivarta and Parinama are synonymous. On the other hand, the philosophy of Shakti Parinamvad declares that Brahman himself never becomes transformed. Rather, it is Brahman's inconceivable potency that becomes transformed. The Jiva Shakti becomes transformed into the individual spirit soul, and the Maya becomes transformed. And the Maya Shakti becomes transformed in the material world. If this version of Parinamvad is accepted, Brahman does not become transformed. The act of transformation is defined in these words. That is, Parinama is defined in these words. Sa tattvato nyathat buddhir vikara iti udahrataha. Transformation is when something appears to be what it is not. So, what is a transformation? Transformation is something appears to be different from what it is. Milk becomes transformed into yogurt, but still milk is essence. It only appears to be something else. That is transformation. According to Brahma Parinamvad, the individual spirit soul and the material world are both transformation of Brahman. This is not correct. The Vedas have used the instrument by, form, in the case of describing relationship with the material world. Whenever Srila Prabhupada was asked, who is God? Definition of God. He used to chant these words from the Taittiriya Upanishad, very famous words from the Upanishad, famous mantra from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani jayante ena jatani jivanti yat prayanta visham vishanti tad vijiknyasasvat tad brahma. He used to repeat this. Many times in his lectures this comes. Tad vijiknyasasvat, this is. In the 13th chapter also it comes. This is from the Bhrugu Valdi of the Taittiriya Upanishad, which is in Bhrugo Vai Varuni, conversation Bhrugu and Varuni, where Brahma Pucham Pratishtaha. In the 13th chapter, you have this thing quoted by Prabhupada. In the 13th chapter, 5th verse, Rishibir Bhaudagitam Chandobhe Vividhe Pratak Brahma Sutra Padaischeva Hetubad Bar Vinishchitaihi. In that verse commentary, Srila Prabhupada, he talks elaborately about Annamaya, Pranamaya, and all this thing comes. So in that conversation, this verse comes. So you find Brahman is known from whom everything comes. From. So from whom everything comes. So there are two. There is a person from whom there is some everything coming. And by whom everybody is maintained. And ultimately, into whom everybody goes. So, three proofs are there to explain that there is a real distinction between them. The maintainer and the maintained. The creator and the created. The destroyer and the destroyed. When it is said that the living being are manifest from Brahman, the ablative case is used. That means from. When it is said the living entity is being live by Brahman's power, they are maintained by the instrumental case is used because Brahman becomes the instrument. When it is said that the living entity is enter into Brahman, the locative case is used. In this way, it is said that the Supreme has qualities. It shows that he is a supreme person, for it is a person that has qualities. Jiva Goswami has described the Supreme Person in these words. So, absolute truth is one. Still, by the inconceivable potency, he is manifest in four ways. Swarupa, original form. Tadrupa, Vaibhava, incarnations. Jiva, the individual spirit souls. Pradhana, material energy. These four features are like the interior of the sun planet, sun surface, sunlight, sun's reflection. Anyhow, this is just from quotation of Jiva Goswami's. This example, of course, explains only a small part of Lord's nature, his Swarupa, in his form of eternity, knowledge and bliss. His Swarupa Vaibhava are his spiritual abode, name, associates and paraphernalia. Jiva Shakti is the abode of the numberless eternal, liberated and conditioned living souls, who are tiny particles of spirit. The Pradhana is a material world of the subtle and gross material elements. As these four features are eternal, so the oneness of the absolute truth is also eternal. Someone may ask, how is it possible the Lord eternally manifests in these four ways but still eternally one? It is not a contradiction that he is both one and simultaneous, in many simultaneously. To this, the answer is given. Intelligence of the individual living entity will eternally declare that it is impossible. But why it should not be possible? The intelligence of the living entity is very small and limited. On the other hand, the powers of the Supreme Personality of God are beyond human conception. Therefore, for Lord, nothing is impossible. Now comes, what is Vivartavad? Because Mayavad is there, they have this thing, Vivartavad. In the Vedas, there is a description of transformation, Vivarta. But that description is not at all like what has become known by the Vivartavad. So there is a description about Vivarta in the Vedic literatures. But the Vivarta which Mayavad says is different. How? Sripad Shankaracharya used the word Vivarta and Vivartavad to mean Mayavad. The true meaning of the word Vivarta is given in these words. The word Vivarta means misunderstanding the true nature of certain thing. That is called Vivarta. Now, according to the Mayavad theory, they say this world is Vivarta. Like they give the example of rope and snake. They give the example of the silver and oyster. It shines like silver. Rope and snake example, very famous example. They say you are walking on the road. You see a rope and think to be a snake, but snake is not there. It is illusion. So this world is illusion. So, but the actual illusion is not this. The actual illusion is not the snake. The actual illusion is to think that this is the snake. Now, the Mayavadis, instead of saying Vivarta is in one's consciousness, what they say? Vivarta is in the Brahman or in the object itself. No, it is not in the object. Maya is not in the object. It is in one's consciousness. So according to Mayavad or this Vivartavad theory, actually this world is unreal. It is not there at all. It is only your illusion you think. It is there. This table is not there, this computer is not there, it is not there. You think it is there, that is why it is there. Just see. You think it is there, that is why it is there. Now you think it's not, now you come to knowledge, not there, it is unreal. Jagat Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. But Vaishnavas know that this world is real. Because it's coming from the Supreme Lord. But we also know there is some unreality. What is that unreality? To think that this is eternal, that is unreal. So the unreality, Vivarta, is in my consciousness. That is why Vaishnavas, they don't think money is Maya, woman is Maya, house is Maya, this is Maya. But where is Maya? It is in me thinking that these things are mine and I am the controller of these things. So, going further. The individual is a tiny particle of spirit, but when he is imprisoned in the gross and subtle material body, he becomes bewildered and thinks, I am gross and subtle material body. Thus, he misunderstands his true identity. Misunderstanding is the only definition of Vivarta given in the Vedas. Very clear now. So now instead of applying this misunderstanding to as Vivarta, they apply it to Brahman itself. Just imagine how they apply it. Oh, you just misunderstood. That's all. That itself has become Vivarta. It is illusion. No. To mistake a rope for a snake or the glistering on the shell surface for silver are examples of misunderstanding. But all these examples that Veda teach that one should throw away far the idea that he is identical with material body. The Mayavadis, however, reject this proper use of the word Vivarta and teach a funny theory called Vivartavad. They say that the idea I am supreme is a true idea. And the misconception or Vivarta is the idea I am individual, I am an individual spirit soul. The exactly opposite. I am supreme is a real identity. I am a living entity. To think like that, that is Vivarta. The Mayavadis Vivartavad is of three kinds. We know this thing. One is the soul is really Brahman, but he becomes bewildered into thinking that he is an individual soul. The idea of the living entity, individual souls, are a reflection of Brahman. The idea that living entity takes a nap and dream And that he becomes many individual souls. So one is Parichedvad, Pratibhimbavad, and the other one is, I don't remember the name for it, but there is some very comical name for it. It slipped out of mind. So none of these are true Vivartavads. The evidence of the Veda refutes all of them. Now, Rajanath says, what is this Mayavad philosophy? My intelligence does not understand it. To understand it soberly and carefully. Try to understand it soberly and carefully. My intelligence doesn't understand it. Is it really required to understand it? Yes, maybe. Maya Shakti is perverted reflection of Swarup Shakti. The Maya Shakti cannot enter the spiritual world. The Maya Shakti is the control of the material world because he is bewildered by ignorance. The soul enters the material world. Spiritual things are real and do have an independent separate existence. However, the Mayavad theory does not accept the reality of spiritual things. Mayavad theory declares the individual soul is actually Brahman. It is only by the influence of Maya that he thinks that he is different from Brahman. The Mayavadi theory declares that as long as he is under the Maya's influence, the soul thinks he is an individual soul. But when he becomes free from Maya's influence, the soul learns that he is actually Brahman. So these are some points about Mayavad. Mayavad theory declares, you can just write numbers 1, 2, 3 like that. Mayavad theory declares that when Maya's influence ceases, the individual spirit soul also ceases to exist. In this way, liberation is taught as a means, is thought to be mean nirvana, or the soul's merging into the existence of Brahman. In this way, the Mayavad theory does not accept the existence of pure individual spirit soul, free from Maya's clutches. After liberation, there is nothing like soul's existence. The Mayavad theory also declares that when he incarnates, it's very interesting. Many of us may not be knowing about this point. The Mayavad theory also declares that when he incarnates in the material world, Brahman must take shelter of Maya, okay, and accept a body made of matter. Brahman does not have a spiritual form and must accept a form made of matter. Thus, Brahman accepts a different material form of his incarnation, descend to this material world, perform great deeds like Krishna, Rama, they have done great deeds, leave this material world behind and return to his abode. The Mayavadis offers one kindness to Supreme Lord. They offer one kindness. Oh, Bichara Lord, take this. They say that the individual soul and the incarnation of Brahman have one difference. They say the individual souls are dependent on their past karma, are pushed into gross material body against their will, and carried along by the strong current of their past karmas, and are forced to suffer old age, death, rebirth, etc. On the other hand, one concession they are given to Krishna, Supreme Lord accepts a material body, material identity, material name, material qualities and other material things voluntarily by his own free will. That is the only difference between me and Krishna, okay? His own free will. By his own will, at a certain time he abandons those material things and becomes again manifest in the pure spiritual consciousness. Although he performs activities, the Lord is not forced to accept karmic results. So Krishna danced with so many gopis, for him there is no karmic reaction. Because he is Ishvara, na? So very, very delicate, When we glorify Krishna, they also glorify Krishna. They also glorify Krishna. You come, do kirtan. Harinam is everything. Without that, what is there? How are you going? But real, I don't know. You don't find many in this area in North India. But South, if you go, you'll find many of them like that. Many of them. They glorify you. You think that, they are also Vaishnavas. But hardcore. Although he performs activities, the Lord is not forced to accept karmic reactions. All these are the mistaken conclusions of the Mayavadis. Now, Rajanath, do the Vedas give any evidence to support the Mayavad philosophy? Clearly says no. In no place do the Vedas teach Mayavad philosophy. Actually, the Mayavad philosophy is identical with Buddhism. And now he goes on giving quotations from different Puranas about Sripad Shankaracharya's identity as Lord Shiva. Padma Purana says, Mayavadam shastram prachannam bhodram uchyate Mayyev kalpitam devi kalu brahmana rupina. Mayavad philosophy is impious. It is covered Buddhism. Mayyev kalpitam devi. He says, I have created this. Asat Shastram. In the age of Kali, I'll come as a Brahmin and do this thing. Vrajana says, oh Master, why did Lord Shiva, who is the best of the Vaishnavas and the leader of demigods, do such a wicked deed? Now, Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a very wonderful explanation, very interesting. Lord Shiva is Gunavatar, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At one time, the demons had taken to the following the path of devotion in order to fulfill their own sinful lusty desires. So, demons had taken the path of devotion and started preaching devotion to what? To fulfill their own lusty desires. Then just imagine if demons start preaching pure devotional service. They would not, then the whole idea is different. Now when this happened, seeing this, the merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead, concerned for the benefit of the sincere devotees, decided to deter the demons from following a path of devotion. With this in mind, he called for Lord Shiva and told him, O Shiva, that the demons in the mode of ignorance are now preaching the path of pure devotional service is not good for the world. Please write a book to bewilder the demons. Conceal the truth about me. Preach Mayavad, impersonal philosophy. The demons will then leave the path of pure devotional service and take shelter of empiricism. That will be very pleasing to my genuine pure devotee. Of this, there is no doubt. The great Vaishnava, Shiva, unhappily accepted this order. The Supreme Lord. However, he placed the Lord's order on his head and obediently preached Mayavad philosophy. How can there be any fault then for Lord Shiva's spiritual master of the entire world? Lord Shiva did this thing. Did a service to the Lord by doing his Mayavad philosophy. Like for example, you build a nice wonderful building with so much of architecture and all these things. In this area you have many kabutars, many pigeons, not area. Bombay, so many. If you have a nice, wonderful building, nice architecture with so many things and all, what will happen? All the pigeons will come in. They pass through there and make it horrible. So there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's temple of love of God. It has got so many wonderful things, but it should be saved from these pigeons. So what you do to protect such buildings, even according to architecture, though you have a nice architectural building, so to avoid the pigeons coming there, you build a bamboo, some chabutra kind of thing, with bamboos and all kinds of things next to that. So all the pigeons come there and see, yes, they fly there and then go there and sit, because that's a better place for them. So Lord Shiva built the bamboo thing next to this temple of love of God, so that all the pigeons come and then they just go there and sit. Then they pass through there. So nice place for them also, nice place for us also. So that's why it's required. So why you require some structure where you have holes and all? It is a rule in architectural thing. Because if you want to protect a structure, you have to have got this thing. Otherwise it is very difficult. Like Srila Prabhupada, his father, Abhay Charan, his father, he used to leave some sukha chapatis in his shop. Before he used to go back, and people used to ask, hey, why are you leaving? He told that by doing so I am doing bhuta yajna. That means I am feeding all the animals also, especially the rats. At the same time my clothes are saved. That dry chapatis he used to leave in the shop. He had a cloth shop. He was a cloth merchant. Prabhupada's father was a cloth merchant. He used to leave those things there. And people used to ask him, why are you doing that? He told, I am feeding them also, at the same time saving my cloth also. Isn't it? So it's Krishna's plan to have Mayavad philosophy so that all the pigeons can go there and pass stool. And all the Paramahamsas can come in and discuss. Anyhow, so actually in his commentary to the Brahma Sutras, many places, Sri Padmadvacharya, he addresses Shankaracharya as Dhurta. Dhurta means rascal. So, when I was just giving the thing, some quotations and reading to, there was one Smartha. I became very, very, unhappy. So, you are calling Shankara a rascal. What is this Madhvacharya is telling? I was talking exactly in Sringeri. This lecture was going on in Sringeri only. Headquarters of Shankaracharya, Sringeri Mutt. So then and he had tears in his eyes and came to Prabhuji, what is this you're telling? It's not good now. You are sitting in their place, and talking like this. Then I told, Lord Shiva has all the potencies. He is the source of all the potencies which work in the material world. So Lord Shiva has both the potencies, the Daivi and Asuri. So when he wrote the Mayavad philosophy, he used the Asuri potency of Maniman. There was one Rakshasa named Maniman. His potency he used to write Mayavad philosophy. So in this way Lord Shiva, even though he wrote, he actually used the potency of Asura. That is why when one of the sannyasis says, when Madhva sees Lord Shankaracharya, he sees whom? Maniman. So he's saying rascal, he's actually telling him the rascal, not Lord Shiva. Okay. Now many quotations come here in the Padma Purana. Wow, I'll just read the translations of it. Oh Shiva, because you worship me, I will always give my blessings to you. In Kali Yuga, mislead the people in general by propounding imaginary meanings of the Vedas to bewilder them. In this way, conceal me and make people turn away from me. O mighty arm Shiva, please write books filled with lies and thus bewilder the people. O mighty armed one, please preach a collection of lies. Place yourself in the forefront and conceal me. I brought me back here. You can get the vehicle here itself. Yeah. Now, he asked, Baba Rajanath asked, do any Vedic passages refute Mayavad philosophy? Now, Bhaktivinoda, earlier he says, any Vedic passages support? He said, no. Now he said, do any Vedic passages refute Mayavad philosophy? All the Vedas refute Mayavad philosophy. Searching through all the Vedas, the Mayavadis have found, after searching, wow, what a lie. I told Bhaktivinoda Thakur is silently comical. Searching through all the Vedas, the Mayavadis at last found 4 statements to butter their arguments. And these they call as Mahavakyas. He's like a typical grandfather. The grandfathers in a village, that is how they talk. So he says, he found 4. Let us see, what are they? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman, very famous statement. Everything is Brahman. Next one, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in Kathopanishad, they say, Neha Nasya Nanyasti Kinchana, nothing is different from Brahman. That is what is their interpretation. We should be very careful. These are not the real meanings of though. We'll come to the real meanings later. Prajnanam Brahma, Brahman is consciousness. Tat Tamasi Svetaketo, O Svetaketo, you are that, thou art that. You read any Vivekananda book, every girl in the village, she's sitting in a swing and they should be always saying, thou art that, thou art that. What is this thou art that? I happened to read a lot of Vivekananda works. Every 2 pages he said, thou art that. He doesn't find anything or what. No, nothing about God. How can he call himself spiritual? I don't know. He was giving a lecture in Madras. He said, if you want to see God, go to Triplicane. There is one temple of Parthasarathi. According to the audience, he was giving a lecture in front of all the Vaishnavas. Then he said, Vivekananda, if you want to see God, you go to Triplicane. Every day they are going, morning and evening. Already they are going. To them he says, he goes to South India, Mysore, he says, non-veg you should not eat. He goes to Bengal and says, without eating fish and playing football, you are not a human being. Anything he says. What to do? Prabhupada told his Viveka Andha. Andha? Blinded intelligence. Viveka means intelligence. So that's what happens. These are the things he quotes. 4 Mahavakyas, here and there he quotes. And thinks himself as a spiritualist. Atreya Upanishads, Prajnanam Brahma, Svetaketu, and Brihadaranyaka Upanishads, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. So these are the 4 things generally they go on quoting. What is the first the Mahavakyas teach? It teaches that material world and the individual souls are all Brahman. That there is nothing but Brahman. What is the nature of Brahman? That is explained in another place in the Upanishads. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natat samasya vidhikas drishyate, parasa shakti vidheva shruyate, swabhaviki jnana bala kriya cha. So these Mahavakyas which says that everything is Brahman, it means what? Everything is energy of Brahman. Now, in these words, Brahman and Brahman's potency are accepted as one. Here it is said that the potency is the property, swabhaviki, of Brahman. And it is also said that the potency is manifested in many different ways, vividha. Because the potency and the master of who possesses the potency are not different. It may be certainly be said that nothing is different from Brahman. However, when we look at the material world, we can see the another use of sense Brahman and his potency are certainly different. In the Vedas, Katha Upanishad and Shvetaswara Upanishad, it says Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam, Yo Vidhati Kaman. It's very famous words, we know. In these words, the Vedas, variety is accepted as an eternal fact. In the other passages of the Vedas, the Lord's potency and knowledge, power, pastimes are also accepted in one sense to be different from Him. Now let us consider other one. First one is over. Second one, Prajnanam Brahma. How does Bhaktivinoda Thakur refute it? Here it is said, not refute, proper explanation of this Prajnanam Brahma. Here it is said, Brahman is identical with consciousness. The nature of consciousness is described in the word of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Tam eva dhiro vijnana prajnanam kurvita brahmanaha. A wise man who understands the Supreme Lord falls in love with it. So prajna means consciousness. Here it means love and devotion. So prajnanam Brahma means what? One who understands it, he falls in love with Brahman. That is what is described, but they interpret in a different way. Now take this word, Tattvamasi. These words supposedly teach Supreme Lord and the living individual spirit, soul are identical. However, it's a totally bogus explanation. Just see, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Yo va etad aksharam gargi avidvat swarnal lokat prayati sakripanaha. We know these words from the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. 2nd chapter, 7th verse. Prabhupada gives a commentary. Karpanya dosho patasvabhavaha. He quotes these 2 verses. So, he is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who quits this world like cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. The word Tattvamasi, therefore, actually means he who has attained devotion to the Lord is a true Brahmana. Tattvamasi means you are that Brahmana who have understood the goal of life. Now, Aham Brahmasmi. What is the explanation? Proper explanation. Some thinkers say that the knowledge described in the words does not culminate in devotional service as a final attainment. The idea is criticized by the word in the Ishopanishad. Andam tama pravishyanti ye vidyam upasate tato bhuyavate tamo yau vidyayam rataha. Those who engage in the culture of science, culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Words still are those who engage in the culture of knowledge. These words mean that persons who are ignorant and do not know that they are pure spirit soul enter into terrible blinding darkness. However, even though they have become free from ignorance, foolishly think that the individual soul is Brahman and not a tiny particle spirit, enter into even more terrible blinding darkness of ignorance. Oh Baba, the Vedas are like ocean that have no shore. one should carefully study each mantra of each Upanishad and then should study Upanishad together as a whole. In that way, one will understand the true meaning of the Vedas. However, if one studies few pages here and there, conclusion he gets at the end will be horrible and wrong. Therefore, are carefully studying all the branches of the Vedas. Sriman Mahaprabhu taught the final conclusion that the individual spirit, soul, and the material world are simultaneously inconceivably one and different from Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, 4 Mahavakyas are taken, and their Mayavad explanation is also given, and the real explanation of these 4 Mahavakyas are also given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur till now. Now, please explain to me more clearly how this philosophy is inconceivable, simultaneously one and different in true teachings of Vedas. Now, Rajanath, in the Chandogya Upanishad, it is said, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman, everything is Brahman. In the Chandogya Upanishad, it is said, Atme Vedam Sarvamiti, the Supreme Soul is everything. In the Chandogya Upanishad, again it said, Sadeva Saumyam Agre Asid Evam Ekam Evadvitiyam. In the beginning, only the Supreme Lord existed, there was none. Again, it is said, Evam Sad Devo Bhagavan Varenyo Yoni Svabhavam Adishtatyekaha. As the sun shines in all directions, above, below, and across, so the glories of the Supreme Personality Godhead rules the creatures. Now, the above passages describe about the oneness of the Supreme Lord. These passages describe oneness, part of the simultaneous oneness and difference. Now let us see the difference. Now there are passages in the Vedic literatures which talks about the distinction between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. Let us see those passages. Om Brahma vid apnoti param, one who understands Supreme attains Supreme. Mahantam vibhum atmanam mahatva dhiro na sochati. A wise man who meditates on all pervading Supreme Soul never laments. And then, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhyayam Parame Vyomam Soshnute Sarvam Kaman Sa Brahmana Vipaschita. Brahman is limitless, eternal and all-knowing. A person who knows the Brahman stays both in the spiritual sky and the heart of all creatures attain Brahman. He associates with all-knowing Brahman. All his desires are fulfilled. So you have these passages which talk about distinction. Notably, this passage is a very important passage from the Taittiriya Aranyaka. We find Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is the first passage on which Sripad Ramanujacharya gave elaborate commentary and established how the Lord has Visheshas. Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam, they are not Brahman, they are the attributes of Brahman. By reading this essay, Ramanujacharya, spiritual master Yamunacharya, he thought, now I should make him a disciple now. I should get him. He is going to lead the Vaishnava, Samrajya. The empire of Vaishnava thing will be led by him. So it's very important. And this created a big problem for his guru. At that time, Achyuta Preksha. He saw this, he thought Ramanuja is going to become more famous and he is going to do something. So he wanted to kill him to such an extent. It's a very famous Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. In the Shvetashvara Upanishad it is said, Yasmat param na param asti kinchit, Yasmin nanyo najayo asti kinchit, Tenetam purnam purushena sarvam. There is no truth superior to the Supreme Person because he is supermost. He is the smallest, smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree and he illuminates the transcendental sky. And the tree spread roots. He spreads his extensive energies. The Shvetashvara Upanishad is said that Pradana Kshetrajna Patir Gunesha. In this way, statements go on. So many statements are given here. Taittiriya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, plenty of statements. So many are there. I'm just going to the end. Let us go to the next page. In these countless passages, Vedas declare. You have it? Got it? Huh? In these countless passages, the Vedas declare that individual souls are eternally different from the Supreme. Every part of Veda is beautiful and good. No part should be rejected. That the individual soul are eternally different from the Supreme is a truth. That the individual souls the individual souls are eternally non-different from the Supreme is also truth. Both are true simultaneously. All the Vedas declare that difference and non-difference are both true. This simultaneous difference and non-difference is inconceivable, beyond the power of human intelligence to understand. Applying material logic to understand it will bring only confusion. What the Veda speaks is always true. The Veda statement should not be rejected merely because they are beyond our understanding of the time of human intelligence. In the Kathopanishad it is said, Naisha tarke namatir apneya. Ordinary material logic cannot be used to disprove the truth taught by the Vedas. Naham manye suvedeti no na vedeti vedacha. I do not think, I do not know anything about Supreme. Neither do I think I know everything about the Supreme. So in these passages, the Vedas declare that the Lord's potency is inconceivable. Therefore, material logic is not proper tool with which to understand the Lord's potency. In Mahabharata, we know it very well. Purnam manavo dharma sangha vedam chikitsatam ajñā siddhāni chatvari na hantavyāni hetubhihi. The Puranas, Manusmriti, the Vedas, with all their limbs and the science of Vedic medicine, are the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are His command. Material logic cannot refute them. Then Rajanath says, what evidence from scriptures and logic show that love for Supreme is the final goal of life? Now it comes to the point of love. Baba says the Vedas say this thing. Very important passage is coming up. Very nice explanation Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives about love. Prano hi yesha yaha sarva bhutir vibhati vijnanam vidvan bhaveti nati vedi nati vadi atma krida atmaratir kriyavan yesha brahma vidam varishtaha. The Supreme Person is the life of all that we live. One who knows Him is not eager to talk of other things. Such a person loves the Lord, always remembers the Lord's pastimes, and is active in Lord's service. He is the best of transcendentalists. Mundaka Upanishad, very nice verse. Prano hi yesha yah sarva bhutir vibhati vijnanam vidvan bhavate nativadi atma krida atmaratir kriyavan sayesha brahma vidan varishtaha taveda yesha brahma vidam varishtaha. One who knows the greatest. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is said again, every living being loves others not to please them but to please himself. The words of Brihadaranyaka show that love is the individual soul's primary need and goal. Baba, love for the Supreme is described in many passages of the Vedas and Srimad Bhagavatam. It is clearly described in these words in Taittiriya Upanishad. Who could live, who could breathe, if he did not find pleasure in his heart? Living in the heart, the Supreme Personality God gives pleasure to all living beings. Happiness is a state of being created by love. All spirit souls try to find pleasure. Person striving for liberation thinks liberation will bring him pleasure. That is why they are all mad after revelation. Materialistic thing, materialist sense object will bring pleasure. That is why they are after sense subjects. The hope of pleasure pushes the living entity into action. The devotees act so that can find pleasure in service of Krishna. Thus all living creatures are searching for pleasure and for love. For the sake of pleasure and love, they are even willing to give up their bodies. And the conclusion is this: everyone sees pleasure and love is the final goal. Their true need, no one will deny it. One may be a theist, one may be a theist, one may be a proponent of fruitive work, one may be impersonalist, one may be hedonist, one may be ascetic. All living entities are searching for pleasure and love. All search for pleasure and love, but not everyone finds it. The proponent of fruitive worker thinks that he will find pleasure and love in Sargaloka. However, the Bhagavad Gita says, Kshine punyamut lokamashanti. This means that eventually they must fall down from Swarga. In this way, their plan to enjoy becomes frustrated. When a person fails to find true pleasure in the wealth, children, fame, power and other things available in this world of humans, he begins to desire the pleasure available in Svargaloka. When he falls down from Svargaloka, he realizes the pleasure available there are not very valuable. Then he sees the pleasure of human world, of Svarga, of Svargaloka and of highest material planets, even up to the planet of demigod Brahma, are all temporary. Then he begins to search for impersonal liberation. When he finally attains impersonal liberation, he sees that there is not real pleasure in that either. Then he searches for other path to follow. How is it possible to find either pleasure or love in impersonal liberation? If a person's sense of identity is annihilated, how can he enjoy any pleasure? Or if everything becomes one, how can he enjoy any pleasure? Who will exist to experience the pleasure? If I lost my identity, who will exist to experience Brahman? The statement, pleasure exists in impersonal Brahman, has no meaning, for no one exists to experience the pleasure. In impersonal liberation, does pleasure exist or does not exist? What is the conclusion? If my personal identity is destroyed, then everything about me is destroyed. What remains of me that I can experience of attaining of a goal or fulfillment of need? In impersonal liberation, I do not exist. I do not exist at all. If someone says in impersonal liberation I exist as Brahman, that Brahman does not perform any action. Is it not? Is it so? If I become Brahman eternally, then there is nothing for me to attain, and therefore I need not perform any action. Therefore, in impersonal liberation is not the way to attain pleasure and love. Actually, impersonal liberation does not exist. It is only the trick played on the individual soul. It is a flower imagined to float in the sky. Devotional service is the only method by which the individual soul can attain true goal of their life and fulfill their true need. The final stage of devotional service is love and pleasure. The love and pleasure are eternal. Pure Krishna is eternal, and pure love for him is also eternal. Therefore, when one accepts the truth of inconceivable oneness and difference, he can attain the eternal perfection of true love. If there is no simultaneous oneness and difference, then the eternal spiritual love, that is the soul's true goal and need, becomes non-eternal. That non-eternal eternity attacks the love and destroys it. Therefore, all Vedic scriptures confirm the simultaneous, inconceivable oneness and difference is the true conclusion. All other conclusions are meaningless. Plunged into the ocean of bliss again and again, he thought about the meaning of spiritual love. Rajanath walked home. Then starts about Abhidheya. That is why the 19th chapter, 19, 20, 21, 3 chapters talks about Abhidheya of Jaiva Dharma. Nitya Dharma Sambandhavidhe Prayojana Prameyantargata Abhidheya Vichar. So what is that Abhidheya? As mentioned in the DasaMula. Sadhanam. What is the sadhana? Shuddha Bhaktim. Sadhanam Shuddha Bhaktim. Exact words? Shuddha Bhaktim eva. Very good. Now Vijay Kumar. Says Vijay Kumar is another personality who came along with Rajanath. They became very friends. Now what happened is, when he died, then everybody became friends of our Rajanath. Because when you are very pure, everybody become friends. Then he started telling everyone that I am going to this Babaji, this is what happened, that happened. I also want to go and learn. Let me go. So Vijay Kumar also came along with Rajanath. And Babaji welcomed both of them and he asked questions. So, O Master, what is the real goal and need of all living entities? He says, you are both great devotees. You have already attained the goal of life. Still, to show kindness to me, you have asked this question. As far as I know, I speak devotional service to Krishna, devotional service that is free from trace of fruitive work and impersonal speculations, both the final goal of life and the means to attain the goal of life. It is, in its beginning stage, known as sadhana bhakti, in its final stage, perfect, is known as prema bhakti. Now, Kumara, so Babaji, what different qualities does devotional service possess? Then Babaji quotes the verse, Anyabhilashta Shunyam, Jnana Karma Jinavritam, Anukulena Krishnanushilanam, Bhaktir Uttama. And he explains it. I have not given the entire explanation because you all done your Bhakti Shastri. Exactly whatever you have learnt, there is no here and there. Exactly as it is, he gives. 5 aspects of these words. 3 are secondary, 2 are primary. That all you know very well. Now, what is a special quality devotional service? I mean to say, what is the specific characteristics? Now you have 6 qualities. You know it very well. Kleshagni, Shubhadha, Moksha Lagata Krik Sudurlabha, Sandran Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Krishnicha Sa. So again, he long distance, he goes on explaining about this thing. Vrajanath, is there a stage between sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti? Yes, he says, yes, bhava bhakti is there. There are 3 stages, sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti and prema bhakti. Does anybody know if there is only sadhana and prema, why bhava has to be there? Why bhava has to put in between? Very interesting point. Why bhava bhakti has to be there? Yeah, it's 50% of the answer. See, sadhana is drama only. Sadhana bhakti means what? Drama. To do a drama that I am a devotee. Yeah. That's what sadhana is. It's not real bhakti. It's not there, but you try to, show that I am also a devotee. Then you are just what I am also a devotee. You try to show, then Krishna says, you are showing the best. Okay, you become. You are acting the best, so you become now. That's what it is. That's called sadhana. Now, when that sadhana is done, it's actually no devotion is there. Sadhana bhakta, no devotion is. It's just activity. But the activity is being continued every day. That shows there is some haladini which is working. The subject matter actually Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Some aspect of haladini is there. Then what happens is, then bhava develops. Why? Because if you give prema, it is like sun directly coming out. Without the abha, without the, what is it called? What do you call abha? What do you, sun rays? The twilight, the twilight. Now the sun coming, that is the way. So this bhava bhakti is like that. It is like the twilight which appears in the heart, where the conditioned soul, his heart is prepared to receive that prema bhakti. So that is why bhava bhakti has been included. There is a lot of technical discussion which is made. Why bhava bhakti has been added. Otherwise there should be sadhana and prema only. This bhava has been added because of that reason. Anyhow, let us go further. See, Raganuga is, there are 2 parts of sadhana bhakti. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Raganuga is also another sadhana bhakti. It is not bhava bhakti. It is not prema bhakti. I don't know, our ISKCON devotees are too much into saying what is Raganuga, what is Raganuga. Already you are doing one of the aspects of sadhana bhakti. Na? Somebody asked me, Roji, what is Raganuga bhakti? Can you explain me? I told that you getting up early in the morning with before the alarm rings. That is Raganuga. Sadhana means external motivation is there to wake. Yes, he went, so I also should go. Whether the world goes or not, you go, that is Raganuga, that's all. People have this very strange understanding of Raganuga. They think Raganuga means something very, I just can sleep and dream of Mangalarti. And anyhow, then Vajnath, you have heard the DasaMula up to 8th verse. A number of times, at another time, please relate these verses to your saintly uncle. My heart blossoms with happiness when I see him. Please listen now to the 9th verse. Shruti Krishnakyanam Smarananati Puja Vidigganaha Tatadasyam Sakyam Paricharanam Api Atmadadanam Naivangri Etanyah Vidigata Bhakter Anudinam Bhajan Shraddha Yukta Swimara Ratim Vaisa Labhyate. Hearing about Krishna, 9 forms of devotion. Hearing about Krishna, chanting His glories, remembering Him, bowing down, bowing before Him, worshipping Him, serving Him, thinking about Him as a friend, serving His lotus feet, surrendering everything onto Him. 9 limbs of devotion. A faithful person who every day worships the Lord by performing these devotional activities attains pure love for Him. This is sadhana bhakti has been described. Now, what is the difference between nama and mantra? There is so much between that, describing every aspect of it. Most of it was all known to you. That is why I just removed those aspects. So let us understand. What is the difference between nama and mantra? The holy name of the Supreme Lord is the life and soul of all mantras. By adding the word namaha, obeisances, and other words to the Lord's holy name, the sages have given a various mantras glorifying the Lord. Mantras that each possess specific power. The holy name of the Lord has nothing to do with the material world. To withdraw the mind from the thoughts of the material world, material body and other material things, mantras contain the Lord's holy names Lord's holy name are given. To be able to chant mantras, materialistic person require accept initiation. To chant Krishna mantra, there is no need to accept the purification process called Siddha, Sadhya, Shuddhi and Hari. Initiation into the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is very beneficial for the living entity. Krishna mantras are the most powerful mantras in the entire universe. When he accepts the Krishna mantra from a bona fide spiritual master, a qualified person gets strength from Lord Krishna himself. The spiritual master then describes the path of Archana to the inquisitive disciple. I need not describe all of that now. In brief, it may be said that the observance of Sri Krishna Janmashtami, Kartik Vrata, Ekadashi Vrata, Magha Snan and other vows are included in this path of worship. One thing especially should be noted about the path of worshipping Lord Krishna. One must worship Lord Krishna's devotees along with Lord Krishna himself. Vandanam is the 6th limb of devotional service. Although it is included within Padasevanam, Kirtanam and other limbs of devotional service, Vandanam is also considered separate limb. Vandanam means offering obeisances. There are 2 types of offering obeisances. Ekanga Namaskar offering obeisances with 1 limb, Ashtanga Namaskar offering obeisances with 8 limbs. The offering obeisances with 1 hand, with the body completely covered with the cloth, directly before, on the left side or behind the Lord or very close to the Lord are all considered offenses. Of course, Dasya. Service is the 7th limb. Dasya means to think, I am servant of Lord Krishna. The best kind of worship is performed and the worshipper thinks that he is servant of Lord Krishna. Offering obeisances, reciting prayers, offering all of one's actions, serving, offering honor, remembering, hearing about the Lord and other activities are included within Dasya. Dasya actually has 2 things. One is Dasya and is known as Kainkarya. Dasya and Kainkarya. Bhakti Rasamrita, you have done that? Different things between Dasya and Kainkarya. It is in 19 chapters only. No, if you have done Dasya, it will come. Of course, maybe. So here, one is you serve. Other is you serve with the identity that I am servant. So out of which 2, the serving with the identity that I am servant, that is more important. Okay, that is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions here. There are 2 kinds of friendships: Vaidyanga friendship with Vaidhi Bhakti, Raganga friendship with Raganga Bhakti. Here we will only describe Vaidyanga friendship. This kind of friendship is possible when the devotee engages in deity worship. That is called Vaidhi Sakya. So those who are doing puja, they are doing deity worship. They are Sakya. Atma Nivedanam, is the ninth limb of devotional service to offer pure soul, the material body and everything else to Krishna is called Atmanivedanam. To act only for Lord Krishna's benefit and not for one's own benefit is a special feature of Atmanivedanam. As a cow that is sold to someone does not do anything to protect or maintain herself or to surrender, so the surrendered soul acts only according to Krishna's desire. Such a soul desires whatever Lord Krishna desires. The activities Atmanivedanam described in the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, Savemana Krishna Padaravindayo, this thing, everything, this whole verses, So in this way, sadhana bhakti was discussed as a brief. Now, in the chapter 20th, Prameyantargata Abhideya Vichar, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is been described. The entire chapter talks about 64 items of devotional service. So I have just mentioned a discussion of 64 items of devotional service in the chapter. Now, chapter 21. Nitya Dharma, Prameyantargata, Abhideya Vichar, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So you will get something about Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti here. Please tell what the word Raga means. I wish to understand that first. Now, materialistic fall in love with the objects of material sense object. This love may be called Raga. In this way, the eyes become excited when they see the beauty and other attractive qualities. In this way, one is attracted to the material sense objects and the mind develops raga or love for them. When that love, raga, is placed in the Lord Krishna as its only object, then it's known as raga bhakti. Rupa Goswami explains that when love is focused on a single object of desire, that is called raga. When this kind of love exists in devotional service, then devotional service is called ragatmika bhakti. In brief, when there is love-filled thirst to attain Lord Krishna, it is called ragatmika. As long as raga has not manifested itself, one is enjoined to follow Vaidhi. Following the rules and regulations of scriptures, heavy, fear and faith are three aspects of Vaidhi bhakti. An intense desire to meet Krishna and associate with him in pastime is the main feature of ragatmika bhakti. Prajana, who is qualified to perform raga bhakti? A person whose faith rests in the rules and regulations is qualified to engage in Vaidhi bhakti. A person whose faith rests in the intense desire to attain Krishna is qualified to engage in ragatmika bhakti, manifested according to their different rasas. Lord Krishna person associates in spiritual world of Raja with strong faith engage in ragatmika. A person who has a strong desire to love Krishna as a residence of Raja in the spiritual world too is qualified to engage in raganuga bhakti. What are the qualities of this strong desire? One quality is that when one hears about the sweetness of love and other emotions manifested by the residents of Raja in the spiritual world, one yearns to go there. A person, when a person qualified to engage in Vaidhi Bhakti hears the descriptions about Krishna, he calmly thinks about these descriptions using his intelligence, logic and evidence of scriptures. However, when a person follows the path of Raganuga Bhakti, hears his descriptions, he does not carefully consider them in their terms of intelligence, logic and scriptures. Indeed, he is overcome with a desire to love Krishna as the residents of Vajadu. Now, what are the activities of Raganuga Bhaktas? The devotees engaged in Raganuga Bhakti yearns to become one of the residents of Raja in the spiritual world and there serve Lord Krishna directly. He always thinks of their desire. He likes to talk with other devotees about the pastimes of his beloved. He resides in Raja either with external body or within the stars, yearning to attain the spiritual love that they possess. He becomes a follower of the people of Raja. He always serves the Lord in two ways. Externally, he performs sadhana bhakti. Internally, he thinks of original spiritual form and in that form he serves the Lord. Rajanath, what is the connection between Raganuga Bhakti and the different limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti? A person engaged in Raganuga Bhakti also performs different limbs of Sadhana Bhakti. Now, if somebody is performing Raganuga Bhakti, he doesn't have to tell, I am performing Raganuga and performing Raganuga. Like a wife will not go and tell him, I am loving my husband, I am loving my husband. Isn't it? She would serve the husband as it is, and love is there, loves her, that's all. She doesn't go on saying that I am Raganuga and all. One devotee who was in Jew or something like that, I met him in Barsana. Hey, I told, what are you doing here? I left. ISKCON. I told, why? I want to do Raganuga Bhakti. Then I told, what time you get up? I told, yeah, one night it becomes very late. I get up at 8 o'clock. So what is the use of Raganuga Bhakti? What Raganuga is going on? So Raganuga Bhakti, and he also performs sadhana bhakti, such as hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. However, within his heart, he is a follower of the people of Vraja. In this way, he tastes the nectar of always serving the Lord. Now you say, oh, he is a follower of people of Vraja. Who is your spiritual master? Who is your Guru Parampara Sampradaya? They are all followers of Vraja only. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he knew that in the age of Kali, because influence, they want to do something different from what is being told. Isn't it? That is the nature of the conditioned soul. You tell something, exactly they do something different. That is the nature. So the spiritual master tells something, chant 16 rows, follow 4 regulated principles, read Prabhupada books, and preach Krishna consciousness. No, I want to do something special. So because of that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, just follow what the spiritual master has told, and then your Siddha Pranali is what? Trinad Visune Chena, Tarur Sajishna, Amanina Manadina, Kirtaniya, Sadahari. So how is Raganuga Bhakti glorious? By engaging in Raganuga Bhakti, one quickly attains what takes a long time to attain by performing Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is weak, but Raganuga Bhakti is both independent and very powerful. By following the footsteps of the people of Vraja, one attains Raga. This Raga naturally pushes one to engage in devotional service, hearing, chanting and remembering the Lord's glories. Serving his lotus feet, bowing down before him, surrendering everything to him. When the heart is free of these material modes, one naturally desires to follow the footsteps of the people of Vraja. Therefore, the attraction to Raganuga Bhakti, or the intense desire to attain Raganuga Bhakti, is the inspiration that pushes one to through spiritual life. As there are many different kinds of Ragatmika Bhakti, so there are many different kinds of Raganuga Bhakti too. What are the different kinds of Ragatmika Bhakti? There are two kinds. Kamarupa and Sambandharupa. And this way goes on explaining. Please explain the difference between Kamarupa and Sambandharupa. Now, famous quotation from the 7th canto, 1st chapter of Bhagavatam, where Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj asked question to Narada. He says that I saw Shishupal, he was criticizing Krishna, Krishna killed him, and he got liberation. On the other hand, we know from the scriptures, anybody criticizes Krishna, they should go to hell. Their tongue should be captured with leprosy. Okay, Krishna killed and he got liberated. But the point is, on the other hand, Vena was there. Vena was killed. Vena also criticized Krishna, and he also died. But Vena went to hell. Shishupal criticized Krishna, got liberation. Vena criticized Krishna, he went to hell. What is this? When Yudhishthira asked this question, that Narada answers, saying this to Yudhishthira Maharaj, the speciality with Shishupal was, he was constantly remembering Krishna. Naturally remembering Krishna out of hatred. Then he gives example of kama, dveshat, bhayat, snehat, yatha bhakteshwara manaha, aveshyatad agam hitva, bhavastad gadim gataha. Many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This great attention may be due to lusty desires, inimical feeling, fear, affection, or devotional service. Now he says, he gives example for each one. Gopya kamad bhayat kamso dveshat chedyadayo nripaha sambandhad vrishneha snehat yuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. Gopi is attained by kama, lust. And kamsa, fear. Deshat, Shishupal. And Sambandhat, Vrishnis and all, they had direct association with Krishna as relatives. Vrishnadeha, Snehat Yuyam, you by Yudhishthira attend with their affection. And Bhaktya Vayam, Narada says, myself by Bhakti. So here the 6 items are mentioned. Lust, desire, inimical feeling, fear, family relationship, affection, devotional. Among these, inimical feelings and fear are not appropriate sentiments for devotees of the Lord. when it becomes the idea that the Lord is friend, affection is appropriate in Vaidhi Bhakti. However, when the affection becomes pure love, prema is no longer within the realm of sadhana bhakti. That kind of love belongs to the path of raga. It has no place in sadhana bhakti. The word bhaktya in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu refers to Vaidhi Bhakti. In some situations, the word bhakti refers to Vaidhi Bhakti performed by the great sages. In other situations, the word bhakti refers to Jnanamishra Bhakti. Here the word many liberate, many attained him means because Lord Krishna is identical with impersonal Brahman. In the same way, the rays of the sunlight is identical with the sun planet when the impersonalists merge into Brahman, or when Krishna's enemies merge into Brahman. They certainly attain Krishna. In this way, they become plunged into the happiness of Brahman liberation, which is perverted revelation of Sarupya liberation. In the Brahmanda Purana, it is said that they attain Siddhaloka, which is on the further shore of the ocean of Maya. Two different kinds of beings reside in Siddhaloka. They are the impersonalists who are plunged into the Brahman happiness, and the demons killed by Krishna. Among those liberated impersonalists attain the faint scent of Krishna, for Krishna Raga. By worshipping Lord Krishna's lotus feet, these impersonalists eventually become dear devotees of Krishna. In this way they attain love, prema for Krishna. As the sun is not different from the sun rays, so Lord Krishna is not different from his Brahman effulgence. Therefore, the word Tadgati here means Krishna Gati. Therefore, impersonalists and demons who attain Sauja liberation attain Lord Krishna's Brahman effulgence. On the other hand, the devotees who allow for Lord attain service to Krishna, who are like the sun planet from whom sunlight, that is impersonal Brahman, has come. In this way, we have described 4 of these emotions: inimical feelings, fear, affection, and devotional service. Only lusty desires and family relation remain to be described. In the path of Raga Bhakti, lusty desires and family relation are both very important. Thus, Raga Bhakti is of 2 kinds: lusty desires and family relations. And discussion on Raganuga Bhakti, it goes on further and further. I just give a glimpse of saying that how there are so many different categories in that, etc., etc. Now comes the last chapter, that is about Prayojana Vichar. Prameyantargata Prayojana Vichar. Now, the entire story goes like this. 22. This is the last chapter in the Jaiva Dharma discussing about the DasaMula. Now, today is Ekadashi. Under the bakul tree in Srivas courtyard, the Vaishnavas were chanting the holy names of the Lord. Some called out, "O Gauranga, Aurikyananda," and sighed. "O saintly elderly Babaji was motionless, plunged in ecstatic love. Who knows what is he thinking?" After a few moments he said, "Alas," and began to weep. "Ha! Where is Rupa? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das Goswami? Where is my life, brother Krishna Das? I cannot be with him. Today I am alone. I cannot be happy. The memory of Radhakund brings me pain. Oh my life, now you are leaving me. I pray that Rupa and Raghunath show themselves to me and save me my life. Even though I am separated from you, still I remain alive. How pathetic is my life." Again and again, speaking in this way, he began to roll in the dust under the bakul tree in Shiva's courtyard. The assembled Vaishnava said to him, "Babaji, be peaceful. Rupa and Raghunath are in your heart. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are dancing before you." Saying, where, the Babaji jumped as he gazed at the Panchatattva deities before him. His grief went far away. He said, "O glorious Mayapur, only Mayapur makes the sadness of Raja go away." Saying these words, he danced from some moments and sat down in his cottage. At that moment, Raj Kumar and Vijay Kumar and Brajanath came and offered Dandavat obeisances. When he saw them, the Babaji's heart bloomed with happiness. He said, "How is your devotional service progressing?" Folding their hands, the 2 disciples humbly said, "O Master, your mercy is the be all and end all of our life. In the past, we must have performed many, many pious deeds that we are so easily have attained your fearless lotus feet. Today is Ekadashi. By your order, we are fasting even from water. We have come to see your sacred feet." Babaji replied, "You are fortunate. Very soon you will attain bhava." Vijay Kumar asked, "O Master, what is bhava? Is there something called bhava that you have not yet taught us?" "Until now I taught you sadhana bhakti. By practicing sadhana bhakti again and again, one eventually comes to the stage of spiritual realization. The stage that immediately precedes the perfect stage is called bhava. The perfect stage is described in the DasaMula. It goes like this, perfect stage. Swarupavashante madura rasa bhavodayeha vraje radha krishna swajana jana bhavam hridivahan pramad paranande pritim jagadadura sampat sukamaho vilasakhe tattve param paricharyam salabhyate. When his sadhana bhakti reaches maturity, the living entity becomes aware of his original spiritual form. Then, by the power of Lord's Hladini Shakti, ecstatic love bhava of Madhura Ras becomes manifest. Then the living entity bears in his heart ecstatic love bhava for Sri Radha Krishna in Vraja. Then he attains ecstatic love Preeti and bliss. Gradually he attains happiness and good fortune that has no equal anywhere in the world. He enters Lord's pastime. There he attains direct service to the Lord. There is nothing higher than that. In this verse, the final goal, prayojana, which is pure love for God, Lord, is described. The beginning stage of pure love is described in the final verse of DasaMula. Now, actually, prayojana is described in two verses. Actually, bhava and prema. First is prema's verse is there, and then bhava is there. Prabhu ka ko jiva katamidam chid vishwam itiva vicharyetan arthan haribhajana krit chara chastra chaturaha abhedasam dharmam sakalam aparadam pariharam hare namanandam pibati haro daso harijanaihi. Who is the Supreme Lord? Who is the individual spirit soul? What is this material world? Considering these questions, the devotee becomes learned in scriptures. He shuns off all offences, sins, material pious deeds, auspiciousness, and aspirations to become one with the Lord, and thinks himself a servant of Hari. In the company of other devotees, he drinks the blissful nectar of her holy name. What a wonderful poem is DasaMula. In it, the individual soul finds the essence of the teachings that have come from Lord Mahaprabhu's sacred mouth. Vijay Kumar, I would like to hear the summary of DasaMula glories. Then Babaji says, listen. Samsevya dasamulam vai hitva vidyam mayam janaha bhava pushtim tatatushtim labhate sadhu sangataha. A person who carefully studies this DasaMula becomes free from ignorance. By associating with devotees, he attains spiritual love and bliss. Vijay Kumar says, "O Master, this wonderful DasaMula will become the necklace we all wear. Every day we will recite this DasaMula and offer Dandavat obeisance to Mahaprabhu. Now, please be merciful and explain the clear meaning of these truths." Babaji says, pure love of God is like a sun. The pure rays that prema, sun, are the spiritual states of Shuddha Sattva. The internal nature of Shuddha Sattva is called Bhava. The Shuddha Sattva manifestation called Bhava is also called by the name Rati and Premankura. So these are all descriptions about prema. When all enlightening Swarup Shakti is manifested in the activities called Samvid, knowledge, those activities are called Shuddha Sattva, spiritual experiences. When Chit means Chit Shakti, Swarup Shakti, manifested in Samvit, then what happens is Shuddha Sattva Bhava comes. These are not activities of Maya. When the activities of Samvit Shakti joins the activities of Hladini Shakti, the result is manifestation. The result is the manifestation of Bhava. The activities of Samvit Shakti brings knowledge. The activities of Hladini Shakti brings pleasure. In this way, the activities of Lord Swarup Shakti brings knowledge of the absolute truth, Krishna. Small knowledge, potency, Samvit Shakti of the individual soul, Jiva Shakti, cannot bring understanding of the absolute truth. By the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, or by the mercy of the Lord's devotee, Lord's Swarup Shakti, internal potency, will appear in the living entity's heart. then Swarup Shakti activities of knowledge, samvit, can act in the living entity's heart. That means, in one sense, the individual, like the very famous words, what is that? Nahi swata Krishna Jnana, Krishna Kripa Kohilai Veda Puran. What is it? There's one verse now which says, by individual's own capacity, he cannot get Krishna. Only by the mercy of Krishna, the heart of the living entity is filled with the Haladini Shakti. Anyhow, by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, or the mercy of the God devotees, Lord Swarup Shakti, internal potency, will appear in the living entity's heart. Then Swarup Shakti activities of knowledge can act in the living entity's heart. Then knowledge of spiritual world becomes manifest there. The real form of the spiritual world is the state of spiritual existence, Shuddha Sattva. The real form of material world of Maya is gross matter, which is a mixture of three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance. When knowledge of spiritual world combines with the essence of Haladini Shakti, the result is that one is able to relish the pleasure of spiritual world. When the relishing of the pleasure of the spiritual world reaches perfection in fullness, Purna Swarupa, the result is called Prema. Prema is like sun, and Bhava is the sun rays, is like the rays of that sun. I just explained about the sun and the rays which are coming. That is the nature of Bhava. The specific nature of Bhava is this. Ruchi, attraction to Krishna, makes the living entity's heart melt and become soft. Here the word Ruchi means the desire to attain Krishna, the desire to please Krishna, the desire to have a friendly relationship with Krishna. Bhava is said to be the first manifestation, splendor of Prema. The word Marshna means the melting of heart. In the Tantras, it is said that Bhava is the first manifestation of Prema. When Bhava appears, the Sattvika Bhava's aesthetic symptoms, such as standing erect on the body's hairs, become slightly manifested. In eternally liberated soul, these ecstatic symptoms appear spontaneously. In souls imprisoned in the material world, these ecstatic symptoms appear as the activity of the mind, and only gradually they manifest their original spiritual nature. Although these ecstatic symptoms come of their own accord, they seem to be induced by something external. The activities of Sattvika Bhava, ecstasy, reveals the true nature of Krishna and the transcendental pastimes. Manifested among the imprisoned souls as what seems to be the activity of the mind, it seems to bring knowledge of other non-spiritual truth. The truth is that it enables one to relate spiritual pleasure. In this way, it enables the souls imprisoned in the material world to relate the spiritual pleasure of Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. The essential feature of the entire paragraph is this thing. The activities of Prema and Bhava are described. So it is the Haladini Shakti which manifests in the heart of a devotee. It makes the devotee feel love for Krishna. By own individuals or the living in his own effort, Prema is not possible. So it is the Haladini Shakti which is infused within our heart that makes the Prema possible. That is the entire purport of this. Vijay Kumar, does Bhava manifest any variety? Yes, Bhava has two kinds, according to its place of origin. Bhava may come from the practice of sadhana bhakti, or it may come from the mercy of Krishna directly. But it is very rare. Generally it comes from the practice of sadhana bhakti. It is only rarity comes from mercy. So some people say, oh, wait for mercy. But don't wait for mercy. Go on doing sadhana. But mercy comes, well and good. Doesn't come sadhana, it goes on and goes on and goes on, and one day that will manifest as in the form mercy of Krishna. What is the nature of bhava produced by the practice of sadhana bhakti? There are two kinds of bhava created by the practice of sadhana bhakti. One is created by practice of Vaidhi bhakti, and another is created by Raganuga bhakti. In the first of the two kinds of bhava created by sadhana bhakti, the beginning of there is ruchi. From that comes asakti. At the end of the rati, at the end comes rati, love for Krishna. In the Puranas and the Natya Shastras, rati and bhava are synonymous. It also says that they are synonymous. I also say they are synonymous. Vaidhi bhakti first creates faith, and from faith, attraction to Krishna follows. However, when one practices Raganuga bhakti, ruchi appears at once. So this Shraddha, Anartha Nivrutti, all these things are just covered. And one stroke Rati appears when somebody practices Raganuga Bhakti. Vijay Kumar, what is the nature of bhava created with the mercy of Krishna and Krishna's devotees? Baba says, when bhava suddenly appears without the recipient of practice of either Vaidya or Raganuga Bhakti, then bhava is created by the mercy of Lord Krishna and Krishna's devotee. What is the nature of the bhava created by the mercy of Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna's mercy is manifest in three ways. Vachika, Aloka Dana and Radha. Lord Krishna may give his mercy to someone by saying, O King of Brahmanas, may devotion to me, may devotion to me, devotion that brings all transcendental bliss, is the crest jewel of all auspicious things appear in you. Just by Krishna saying it will appear. Simply by Lord speaking these words, bhava suddenly appears in the Brahmana. The aborigines residing in general never had seen Krishna before. However, simply by seeing them, they attained bhava. Because the compassion in the Lord's heart, Krishna's heart. It is called Alokya Danaja Bhava. Bhava created by glance. When feeling of compassion arises in Krishna's heart, it produces bhava called Harda. This bhava is seen in Sukadeva Goswami and other devotees. When he described to this world, Lord Mahaprabhu granted these three kinds of bhava from form of mercy in many occasions. Simply by seeing the Lord, many people attained bhava. Jagai mein dai. What sadhana, what did they do? And many others attained bhava just because the Lord's words. Srila Jiva Goswami attained bhava just by the mercy of Krishna's heart. Just within the heart, he got mercy, attained bhava. Vijay Kumar, what is the nature of bhava created with the mercy of devotees of Lord Krishna? Because of the mercy of Narad Goswami, Narad Muni, auspicious desires appear in the heart of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad. By the mercy of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami and their associates, the desire to perform devotions appear in the hearts of numberless people like that. What are the symptoms of bhava's appearance? When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms come or manifest in one's behavior. Forgiveness, concern, that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false pride, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment to descriptions of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where the Lord resides, that is a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are called anubhava, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotions. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. I goes and say, what is this forgiveness? Forgiveness is when even though there is ample reason to become agitated and angry, one is not agitated and angry. This is called forgiveness. Tolerance is a synonym of forgiveness. What is concern? The time should not be wasted. It means not to spend time in useless activities. To always be engaged in devotional service to Krishna is called concern. The time should not be wasted. Now, vyartha kalatvam and all. I'm just giving a brief because we are coming to the end. We need to inculcate these things. Vijay Kumar asks, what is detachment? To find that one sees no pleasure in so-called material pleasures is called detachment. When a person accepts sannyas, can he claim to have attained detachment? Sannyas is a material convention in the material world. When the heart finds its pleasure in spiritual world, when the heart finds its pleasure in the material finds its pleasure in material grows less and less until finally it disappears almost completely. That is called detachment. A person who is detached from the material world and then accepts sannyas to remove the obstacles that prevent him from attaining bhava can claim to be a detached Vaishnava. However, a person who accepts sannyas prematurely before he has any understanding of happiness of spiritual life, bhava, he is not properly initiated as a sannyasi. He is not a true sannyasi. The Lord's punishment of Chotaridas taught this to the entire world. What is the absence of false prestige? Birth, varna, ashrama, wealth, power, beauty, a high status in society, and many other things make a person proud. To renounce the pride that comes from all these things is called absence of false prestige. In the Padma Purana is written the story of great king who attained devotion to Lord Krishna, renouncing the pride that comes from the royal opulence. The king passed his life as a beggar performing Madhukari in the capital city of the king that had been his rival and enemy. He always offered respectful obeisances to everyone, not caring where they were Brahmanas or Chandalas. Oh, Vijay Kumar says, what is hope? To engage in devotional service with firm conviction, thinking, Lord Krishna will certainly be merciful to me, is called hope. So what is eagerness? Intense greed to attain what one desires is called eagerness. What is taste of chanting the holy name of the Lord? Of all the different activities of devotional service, chanting the holy name of the Lord is the best. To always chant the holy name of the Lord with faith is called a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord. A taste for chanting the holy names of the Lord fulfills all spiritual desires. You will learn more about the holy name separately, another time. What is attachment to the description of the transcendental qualities of the Lord? Baba says, Krishna Karanamrit verse. Very beautiful verse from Krishna. Madhuryadapi maduram manmatatasya kimmapi kaishoram chapalyadapi chapalam cheto balaharati hantakim karunaha kurmaha. He is sweeter than the sweetness personified. His youthfulness is Kamadeva himself. He is more restless and playful than restlessness, and playfulness personified. Alas, he has stolen my heart. What will I do now? Oh, one may hear again and again of Lord Krishna's transcendental qualities, but one's desire to hear them will never be satisfied.